citizen?
Well, I've been living here for 30 years, but I just never, it's like,
It was a
but then it's
fast
like, okay, if this is
2
happening, I
minutes.
need to be a citizen, so they can,
It was
at
a
least they can be
quick
harder for
2
them
minutes
just
and back,
check me out, you know?
back to the center.
Right on. Well, welcome. I mean, now that you've been here, but
Thank you.
I wish that it was under better
Yeah,
circumstances.
you know, it's just, it's absolutely
Did you meet somebody
unbelievable
new?
to think that
Yes, good. And is somebody participating in collective action?
1 year to,
Yes, good.
I know it's
Can I have one person share what they're doing? Okay, this is a time that we get organized. This is a time where real change happens, connection and organization. So we have a mic here. Who here wants to share really fast?
That are standing up with him. You know, all you got to do is look at the Nazi history, and you see exactly the same.
Absolutely. So when I was in junior high and high school, I did nothing but read about World War II, and when all this stuff started to happen, it was just like an insane flashback to all of those things.
Yeah.
Like, how can people not know that this is not right? It's pretty crazy.
You know, you're thinking about hate. I just comment on that. The previous guy who spoke, you know, he was spewing hate, and I don't think that is the answer either. You know?
Absolutely.
I don't know how you feel about that, but you know, the guy that spoke and he was spewing quite a bit of hate.
I missed it because I just got here. So he was the speaker that was just up before.
There was a native guy, and then before him there was another guy, and he was spewing quite a bit. You white people do this, and you know, so it's kind of like, okay,
we're getting it together.
Yeah, so like hatred is not the answer, you know.
Exactly.
That's why we're here, because there's a little too much hatred. So
yes.
Anyway,
No.
Maybe you'll see his if you're following YouTube. You'll maybe see his.
I'm surely going to see some of it.
So what's it like?
You too. My name is
Neil? Bruce.
People call me Cam, so that's all right.
Yeah, okay.
It's all good.
Cam.
Yeah.
Welcome to Portland.
Appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
So I'm going to be standing over there if you want to come and get my information and come with me.
That is community. What an invitation. Is it any last minute, one more? All right, we got a hand up here. Big round of applause, please.
Today we walked out of our school at 2. And hearing people talk about how it might not directly affect them is just frustrating because it affects all of us.
All of them are.
So just being here today, just being able to show out is really important, I think. And we want to show our friends that even though we're just in high school, we can still do big things like this.
I'll give a scan of the crowd here in just a few moments for the side.
I can't say it any better than that. So on to our next speaker. We got Sierra coming up.
Woo!
Give her some energy.
Okay, I've never spoken before publicly, so I'm going to try and keep it together as best as I can. In this speech, I'm going to mention my father, an indigenous man who served this country. His name is Daniel Mercado. I didn't come here today to just give a speech. I came here as a daughter, a granddaughter of indigenous immigrants. My father and grandfather served this country, but this country never served them. After serving in the Army during the Gulf War, as a sergeant veteran, he joined the police force in Savannah, Georgia. That didn't last long. He spoke in Washington, D.C. for tax credits for low-income families. Made that happen. An indigenous man made that happen. He worked hard for little pay to support my mom and 4 brothers and sisters, all while suffering from mental and physical trauma. And still this country never served him. he continued to suffer and spiral, seek help. But who is going to listen to an indigenous brown man, right? Give him the help he needed. So it took its toll on our family, on him. He fought until he could fight no more. And on August 7th, 2021, my father took his life. 3 months later, my grandfather passed from heartbreak. And just like that, 2 more Moctezuma descendants gone. 2 more indigenous men gone. And no one blinked. This country has taken so much from my family that gave so much and asked for so little in return. And it takes, and it takes, and it takes from indigenous families, like it always has. But what the history books like to call it and tell it as a story as the birth of America, which was actually is what we now know as ICE. Indigenous protester at ICE, I have been assaulted, gassed, pushed, dragged, maced, shot at. I have scars on my body that have still not recovered. On August 4th, I was dragged for blowing a ceremonial whistle, and I was not even standing on the line. I went to federal prison, or federal holding, all for a whistle. A whistle. Because the ICE agent said I hurt his ears. And they took his word on it. I lost my job. I almost lost my home. I then myself mentally spiraled. Today I bounced back. All for standing on another imaginary line drawn by this country, another line on stolen land, my people's land that have been migrating these coastlines, these plain lands, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years before any man on a boat came here. Today we gather to speak truth to power and to honor the original people of the land. We stand on Turtle Island, who have been harmed, silenced, and dehumanized by systems of enforcement, exclusion, and erasure. All of us have indigenous blood, some of us in our veins, and some of us have it on their hands. We are here to speak about the atrocities committed by ICE, the U.S. government, not just against immigrants, but against families, communities, indigenous peoples, whose roots on this land run deeper than any border. ICE claims to protect laws, but what it has only ever protected instead is cruelty. Tearing children from their parents, detaining elders, denying medical care, taking lives, and creating fear in communities that only seek safety, work, and freedom. Does that sound familiar to you? These actions do not reflect justice, they reflect violence. We must remember this. Many immigrants are indigenous people. The border crossed us, not the other way around. Long before nations, states, passports, or fences, indigenous people, we lived, traveled, traded, and thrived across these lands. To criminalize our movements today is to erase history, deny ancestral rights. Indigenous people have always fought to survive systems designed to erase us, from colonization to forced removal, from broken treaties to cultural genocide and assimilation. Today, that struggle continues when indigenous people are detained, deported, or disappeared into detention centers where their languages are ignored. Cries and screams from children for their mothers and fathers are laughable. Laughable. Their spiritual practices are denied, medical needs are left untreated, humanity stripped away, people die or are never seen again. But they're just another MMIP, right? ICE does not just enforce immigration policy, it enforces trauma, it enforces fear, it enforces silence and violence. Families are torn apart, children grow up without parents, communities live in constant anxiety. This is not safety. This is not justice. This is not law. This is nationwide violence and unfinished genocide. A sole agenda to make this a guilt-free white America. Because if our faces are no longer here as a constant reminder of the lands they stole, the genocide, the rape, the kidnapping, the murdering, the erasure of cultures, traditions, our languages, colonization, then they get what they have always wanted, our erasure and a white America. We stand today not only in opposition to ICE, the U.S. government, but in solidarity with indigenous resistance, immigrant resilience, and human dignity. We affirm that no human being is illegal, that you will not be judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of your character. And no system that thrives on suffering deserves to continue. We demand an end to detention. We demand an end to deportation. We demand an end to the criminalization of migration. We demand an end to the genocide here on Turtle Island to Palestine. And we demand policies rooted in indigenous sovereignty, care, compassion, and community, not cages and cruelty. And we will never stop fighting for our people. We have always resisted. Migration has always endured, and together we will continue to fight for justice, for our family, for our freedom, for peace, and for a future where borders do not decide who deserves to live without fear. ICE must be stopped and humanity must rise. We exist and resist, and we are still here. I have a video of my dad in Washington, D.C. It's like way back in the 90s, where he spoke. If you guys want to listen to it, I can play it.
A patrolman from the Savannah, Georgia Police Department who will talk to you about his work and his family.
My name is Daniel Ricardo, and I'm a patrolman with the Savannah Police Department. And through the Savannah Police Officers Alliance of Georgia, I am a proud member of the National Association of Police Organizations. I have always wanted to be a police officer, and for 3.5 years, I have been proud to serve in my community. Right now, I make $12.41 an hour, less than $26, and I certainly do pay taxes. Since my wife stays home and is busy raising our 4 people, 2 of them who are here with me today, it is up to me to provide for all of them. You can imagine it is pretty hard to take care of my family on this salary. Forgive me for not knowing all the details of this debate, but all I know is that I work hard, I pay taxes, I have kids, and for each of my children seems to me to make a lot of sense. I would think that if there was going to be a child tax credit given, that it would apply to someone like me, who is working very hard every day to support my family. I would like to thank the Vice President and the President for what they are doing to watch out for working parents like me. And I am proud to introduce to you now the Vice President of the United States, Al Gore.
Thank you.
Give her some energy! Some yell! Yes, because I've got. I'm trying not to bomb. Thank you. First, I want to thank everybody that came out here today. This means a lot. And if just a group of us friends can put all this together, imagine if every single one of you here took the effort to talk to your neighbors, to talk to your friends, to talk to your family, and said, hey, you know what? Let's keep people on the streets. Let's keep visibility, and let's do this. It doesn't have to be a huge event. We need to make sure that at all times we are sending the message that we are here and we are going to keep fighting and we're not going to back down, and that there are more of us than they are of them, and we will defend this country.
Hell yeah!
Most of you guys that have met me know me as Mama. I spend a lot of time down there at ICE over the summer. I don't go down there as often as I should recently with school starting back up and things, but I'm still there. And that speaks to another point, that even if you're not going down there to protest, even if you're not marching, there are things that you can do. I hope that everybody took the opportunity to get over to our tables and speak to different ways that you can reach out to your community, be involved in your community. You can do it yourself too. Whether it's just simply going grocery shopping for somebody who's afraid to leave the house and making sure their families have food. Whether it's making sure that you raise money to go ahead and send. You don't have to be rich. You can simply just, sorry, this is killing me. I just need it higher. Yeah, I'm short, but not that short.
Yeah, sorry, I scheduled this on
Thank you
short
so
notice
much.
and I didn't actually keep to my time.
You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have money. There are people who want to give. You can start Cash Apps, spread it on your social media. You can put out signs with a link to be able to get people to donate. And then donate it to your food banks. Donate it to community resources. Donate it to PERC and LULAC. Donate it for different services for legal help for the people that are out there protesting, getting shot, getting brutalized. Donate it to black communities and the LGBTQI communities, all the communities, the indigenous communities that are being targeted and have been targeted. Us white folks are finally getting a taste of what it's like, and it sucks. But they've been the ones out here doing this fight for this long. We are just now getting on board, and I'm proud of us for doing something about it, but I'm also kind of ashamed that it took us this damn long. Now, I actually wrote a speech, and I'm going to read it now. That was all just what I wanted to say off the top of my head. I also want to remind people, for whomever is watching from home on a live, there is another rally at the Lonsdale Square at 5 p.m. that's also going to do a march. So anybody that hasn't had the opportunity to come out, there's still another opportunity. And you don't have to do it with an organized one, too. You can say, you know what, we're just going to do it ourselves, too. So here's to my speech. Bear with me. Trump and his Nazi MAGA loyalists have made it clear that they are taking this nation by force with violence, murder, fear, theft of our freedom, our taxes, the disregard of the co-equal branches of government, and the destruction of our Constitution. He is destroying our great nation. On the streets across this nation, we are all witness to the suppression of our free speech, illegal search and seizures, increasing surveillance, ongoing brutality, public kidnappings, and now executions of anyone they label as illegal, terrorists, homeless, mentally ill, or just simply their version of an enemy of the state. Behind the walls of our nation's capital, we are all witness to MAGA white nationalists removing the human and legal civil rights of immigrants, minorities, citizens, women, and the LGBTQI community, and more. Congress allows these unlawful acts to continue with no evidence, no due process, or any oversight actions actually taken. Murders! They are undermining our constitutional rights to vote. They're pushing to end birthright citizenship and to revoke naturalized citizenship and stripping their rights to our own bodies. These so-called pro-life traitors to this country are gutting all of the programs that save life and ensure life is more than just an existing heartbeat. They're stealing our tax dollars we pay to fund services to our people and using it to fund Trump's not-so-secret service to terrorize and murder the good people of this nation, make his billionaire buddies more rich, and to protect himself and other pedophiles like him facing justice. They will pay for their crimes against the innocent people, children, and everyone that they are victimizing. We won't stop until they do. This regime's threats and murderous attacks on our neighboring sovereign nations destroys our international relationships and allyships, endangering the lives of our entire nation. All for one man and his elite billionaire buddies to further colonize this planet for their own personal gain. Monsters! Like the equivalent of a teenager wanting to be just like their favorite celebrity, Trump is creating his own version of Russia's Committee for Television and Radio Broadcasting, demanding that our reputable, accredited journalists bow to his regime or give up their press access to the Capitol and the Pentagon. He has steadily replaced these credible journalists with uneducated, dishonest, biased social media influencers and podcasters with zero integrity to proudly manufacture loyalist propaganda. He is turning our public media into his own personally run state media. Fascist! These acts by those who are supposed to uphold the law have gone on long enough. The threat against every person in this nation grows by the minute. We must act now and take the power this administration has stolen and put it back in the hands of the people where it belongs. Before this nation falls any further into authoritarianism. I grew up being taught that the United States of America is the leader of the free world, that our military service members fight, and our veterans fought, many giving life and limb to defend the freedom and the Constitution for everyone. But the truth is, not everybody is as free as their neighbors. Many have never been afforded their rights as they should have been, despite the fact that the Constitution applies to all human beings on this land we call home. We must all commit to working together to meaningful action and to fulfill the promises and to factually reflect the values, freedoms, and principles for everyone. Not just in symbolism, but in action. We will fight until this time in our history is so unrecognizable in this nation and the world that no one will ever experience these atrocities again, ever. In our nation, everyone will be free, equal, and have the same rights as any of their neighbors. No matter where they come from, what religion they follow or don't, no matter what their skin color, who they love, where they work, how much money they make, the gender they are, none of that matters. Because America will be a nation that proves to the world that we are a civilized society. We can have our differences and still know that no one is less deserving of rights, dignity, and the opportunity as anyone else. The freedoms, values, and principles that should define us as the, quote, leader of the free world will not be replaced with Nazi authoritarianism. That's right. It is time that we remind our elected officials that they fucking work for us. And it's long overdue for them to do their damn job. It is time for them to enforce the co-equal branches of government and take effective action against those who break our constitutional laws, remove them from the office, and make them face justice. We must stand united and without pause. We must make it very clear and very public. We will not be complicit in the destruction of our lives, of our families, neighbors, communities, and this nation. We will not silently surrender our freedom and Constitution. We rise together, united, with dignity and with pride. and our love of this nation to defend it. We will be loud, we will be defiant, and we will make it undeniably clear that we will never comply with Nazi authoritarianism. So today we march. We march to the press. We will be going to KGW, and we will bring the voices of the nation to them. We won't be censored, we will not be cut short, and we will not allow them to take snippets of what we have to say and feed a narrative. They're gonna hear you. Every single one of you that would like to speak will be heard, and we're gonna make it live news. One more round of applause for Danielle. That was great. All right, we got about 5 minutes until we're ready to head out of here. So what that means is if you have not been at a table, get there. If you have been to a table, make a couple friends like you did earlier. We need to build community. You have 5 minutes, and then we're going to head out. We'll make an announcement, and then you'll just follow us.
Woo! Yay, another march. Definitely going to get my steps in today. Let's walk around and look at some of the signs. Check out some of the tables real quick. I saw a really funny one. I'm going to go try to find it.
And I've got a phone out there somewhere that's looking for me. I'm looking for it. You'd like to reunite a couple that's usually always together. It's got a light pink ivory face. That's mine.
I see it.
Wait till Trump.
Try to move quickly through the crowd. There's just one. Sorry about that. Just one sign I want to see real quick.
I was behind you, and it was so
I will buy that motherfucker that Big Mac. Well, I'll definitely be safe today. I do have to work later. I'm going to be hanging out for a little while. It'll be more than a little while, but.
I just wanted to say hi.
What a feeling for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and a carrying signs. Mostly say to pray for our side. Each time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody, what's going down?
I believe these are memorial stories. Is it blurry? Is it still blurry? It looks clear on my screen. Blurry? Huh. Let me see if I don't have a lens wipe.
Okay, that was your breakfast.
Oh, is it just your resolution? I'm pretty sure I'm always running in at least 1080p, which can still kind of be blurry. Yeah, Let me see if I got a lens wipe real quick. It looks like they're beginning the march. Apparently we're gonna go down to the local news station today and refuse to be ignored. Yeah, it might be the celery section. And I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention to the comments. I was watching the speakers, and also I didn't want to speak over them. Sorry, poking your eyes. I'm gonna get situated here real quick to walk along with the crowd. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Yesterday, I don't even think we were halfway to the convention center when I went ahead and left the march yesterday, and I took the bus back. And I know that there's streetcar and bus access around this area, so I had thought about it if I needed to. Sorry. It's me. Hey, it's me. Keep flipping back and forth, so I figure that my camera's over there, so it's like I'm always looking over. Anyways. Hey everyone. Sorry, I'll talk. Sorry. I'll come back to these. But there are different groups. Hey everyone, yeah.
I think we all kind of work with Kirk and whoever is in those areas. I think
So these are different groups to get organized with. I believe that's what these tables are for. Give them a quick look.
I always feel like that's a good thing.
Just want to get the Democratic Socialists of America, the DSA. That's what they're representing here. Yeah, I like that Black Cat poster. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's my fault. I was just...
Any kind of attention she can get.
She'll take it, yeah. Cutie pie, thank you so much.
I don't know if that's still blurry, everyone.
Sorry.
Okay, stop. We're done.
Maybe.
No, please go right ahead.
Thank
No,
you
you're
so
good.
much.
Sorry, everyone. I know that is a little blurry. Portland Against Deportations. That's the group.
As well as some Know Your Rights cards. Don't want to keep your first backpack.
I'm not sure what they are here. This is the PIRC table. I think we're all familiar with that one.
There's this vehicle. This is the
Absolutely.
license plate.
What are you doing?
I don't want to make people uncomfortable, like with my camera over their shoulders. So, just check out a couple more of these protest signs.
You want to go put it?
Okay.
It's like 5 minutes.
Oh, I was like, well, now you can pass them out to someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that, Robin. Pets are family. That's why I don't own any. They kind of have to choose you, you know? But it stinks when they go, and I don't like that. I had pets when I was much younger, but and I would love to have a pet now, but I just don't have the time to have the responsibility. One day soon. One day soon. I'm more of a cat person myself, but I would like to have a dog because I like to go camping, and you know, with their hearing being so much better than ours, to alert people. So what I'm going to do here, it seems like people are walking in the street and on the sidewalk. I'm going to go ahead and cross the street and get on the other side of the crowd. Backpack strapped properly here. So yeah, it seems like the objective of this crowd is to go put the story right in front of the news cameras, because we all know that when we're down at the facility, they only stick around, get their little chaos of a story. They don't see the whole picture. They're not hearing the whole story. They're not hearing the complaints, the grievances, the stories about people's families being torn apart. They're not giving enough credence to these things. There's still plenty of people. Exactly. That's, you know, they have their corporate overlords they have to answer to. We do not. We don't answer to anybody.
Can you just go really slow? There's like kids still marching in the street. Can you just go really slow? Thank you.
Pardon me, young lady. Excuse me. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm
Great.
happy.
Good. Good. It's great to be that way, right?
Yes.
We deserve it. Everyone deserves it.
There's hope.
There is hope. I mean, look at the numbers. That's right. What I've always said is they pulled out a few thousand people for January 6th, but there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of us.
We just got to unite.
Yes, we do. And I think that the messages are all starting to converge. And I think that all the groups are starting to work together.
Yes.
And now there's more groups even building.
Well, even the maggots, we can't win with hate.
No, we can't. No, you're right.
And some of them might be starting to change their minds.
Some of them are. The ones in the middle. Everybody in the middle is starting to wake up.
Yep.
It's like I've told people, there's always going to be people on the left, there's always going to be people on the right, but it's the people in the middle that are actually in control.
That's right. You're right.
Yes, she is. Absolutely. And hell of recognition that someone at their age will get out here and walk, even if it's a half a mile. It can't be easy. It shows you the determination. It shows you the power of will, otherwise known as willpower, which would be a funny name to you. William Power. Bill Power. Richard Power. You can sum that one up. Just funny. I would never do that to my child. I have no freaking clue. No, we're not that far. I don't know. I'm just kind of glancing down at the comments anyways. Oh, you know what? I'm not even... I'm in top comments. Your host is a noob. This is not as large of a crowd that was at the event yesterday for the March for Human Rights and Dignity. This is a much more energetic crowd, I feel like. Some of these people took it upon themselves to drop everything that they were doing, whether it was work, school, their home life, to walk in solidarity. Yeah, there's a lot of old churches in this city. They're like the one type of buildings that did not get gentrified. I remember seeing photographs of old Portland and then seeing reports about how they went through and tore everything down. And I think personally, I feel like that's a shame. I love architecture. I love old buildings. Just the history. You walk into a building that's over 100 years old, and you think about all the different people that have walked through those doors. Or I do. I think about those things. I mean, nothing in America was black and white at all, ever, from the beginning. I mean, the people that think that this is a white Christian nation really need to wake up. They're driving themselves insane. Because every day that they wake up, they don't see what they're trained to be seeing. Let me guess, is this Burnside? Oh, it is. Oh, look. Hey, I'm learning street names. Yeah, this intersection is whack. It is a wacky intersection. But I know these streets were laid down before automobiles were really a thing. That's why they're so short. That's why the roadways are kind of really torn up, because there's brick underneath this pavement. And that's not the way you build a roadway that's supposed to last. It's cheap.
You know, of our mind.
Right.
We're like out there protesting and calling bullshit. And one of them
I think they should break it all down to the original roadways, like some cities have around the country. Just embrace their past. Massively blurry. Yeah, I'm next to a big tall building that I probably don't have a signal. I anticipate that the stream quality is going to vary greatly. So now we're out by the stadium, which I never even knew Portland had a stadium until I drove past it. Didn't even know that was a thing. When I get stationary again, I'm sure that the reception will improve. Oh, and real quick, I was looking into Patreon last night. I have a PayPal, but I can't access it immediately. But I'm considering definitely doing a Patreon. Maybe I'll put some. Maybe I'll put some videos of conversation and discussion up on there, and potentially do like a small subscription for certain content. But I also think that I might use that to upload certain videos that have more, maybe not so safe for YouTube content. I don't know what I'd have to look into all the user terms and conditions on that website. Yeah, I know, right? I'm not much of an interviewer though, you know what I'm saying? I could develop myself into it. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's intrusive unless somebody is eager to walk up to me to say something, but I don't think until my channel gets bigger that people are going to see me as that person. You know, if I saw Mercado, I'm sorry, however his name is spelled, when I've seen him, I want to go up and talk to him because he's got people watching his channel, you know, and you're just going to have so much more of a reach. Where's that coming from? Yeah, I could just kind of hold a sign so that people could see, hey, if you want to come up and say something. Actually, that might be a better idea than trying to find people in the crowd, just letting people come to me. Absolutely. Coming up with a questionnaire would be like for certain people, like if I ever got into like having a politician want to interview with me, oh, that'd be crazy. I'd be nervous as hell. Yeah, I seen that he was having to go have surgery. I can't remember what he said it was for. I don't think he actually mentioned. But I do remember him saying that it was his sobriety anniversary, which is awesome. Right. I mean, I worked in hospitality for almost 2 decades. It's not like I'm socially awkward. I do kind of pause sometimes in the middle of a sentence while I think it out. But that's probably the edibles.
Let's go! Quick, quick, quick!
Well, there goes the copyrights. I was looking at my monetization eligibility, and I think that the valid watch hours update after 24 hours. So overall, though, I'm almost at 900 watch hours, just in the general sense. Like, if anybody even just put on like an old live stream while they were doing the dishes, you don't even have to have the volume on. Just let them play. That might help boost those watch hours for me. I tell you, this is the longest half mile ever, though. At least the pavement isn't all crooked with tree roots. And being out here by the stadium in this park, that's a high school. Oh. Has that video quality gotten any better? Now that I'm out away from all the tall buildings. Okay. 1 mile. I've been trying to glance down at chat so I can keep my face off the pavement. No, the quality hasn't gotten better. Damn. Awesome. Thank you for the update, 3 Acre. And everyone else too as well. Absolutely. I can't assume that the YouTube feed would cancel and close if I switched off my network and then switched it back on again to hope that it resets. That actually helps sometimes. Yeah, no rain all week, but it's going to be cold tonight. think the low is 29. I think last night's was 28. You know I'm just standing here walking with the crowd and holding the camera. But when you add a number to the crowd, if you keep adding numbers to the crowd, it doesn't matter what you've got in your hands. It matters what you've got in your heart. And every one of us, sometime very soon, there's going to be a massive, massive nationwide event. No Kings 3.0. I feel it's coming. Yeah, I've got opinions. Unfortunately, some people don't like those. None of us can spell. Don't worry about it. I have to tell people all the time that there's an A in accountability. It's not accountability. It's accountability. Probably couldn't have picked an easier name, but I feel like this is on point. Well, don't go there because we've all left. Don't go to Couch Park. We're going to I think it's Channel 8. We've all already left the area and we're marching down to the news station. They did mention another event. I don't know if anybody noticed in the beginning of the stream. But they said it's something about 5 o'clock, I think. I can't remember the details. Yeah, KGW, yeah, I think that's it. We've got to almost be there. All right, it looks like the crowd is building up again here.
Well, they end right by the office. Oh, do they? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's actually, this is it. Oh, okay. I'll stay for a little bit when I got the job. Maybe it's like KGW.
A very important question that I've asked hundreds of people, maybe close to 1,000 by now. If you had absolute total confidence that everybody would stand up together with you, would you stand up against the ruling class, against the fascists and the billionaires? person that I have asked,
So there's more of a population
all of them have
here?
said yes. All of them have said yes, but that would never happen. Everyone says yes, but that would never happen. Everyone is willing to rise up against the ruling class, but no one believes that everyone else will stand up together with them. That is what they have done on purpose. They have made us lose faith in one another. They have made us feel divided and weak. But we have one common enemy, and they are evil. They are fucking insane. They want us to die. They hate you. Power makes humans evil.
Except they need us.
Everyone knows it is common sense that it takes money to make money. That it takes money to have power. Everyone knows this, and yet we have been gaslit into continuing to pretend that there is somehow any meaningful difference
Can you all hear?
between economic power and political power. All of us have seen in our lifetimes and in the lifetimes of our parents that all attempts to regulate the rich have failed. We have seen it. They use everything they can to divide us. They use everything they can to undermine our democracy, to make us hate those who are powerless, to create powerless individuals, to create powerless masses of people. They enslave us. They enslave black people. They genocide indigenous people. They hurt everyone they can, and they make us blame each other. But it is always them. It is always the ones with money and power who orchestrate class conflict within the class, who orchestrate the culture war. Ask everyone you know. This is homework. Ask every single person that you know if they would stand up to go against the ultra-rich, against the tech billionaires,
I believe
the
so.
fascists, the corporate oligarchs. Ask everyone you know if they would stand up. And when they answer, of course, but no one else would stand up together with me, tell them that that is what everyone says. And then urge them
try to
to
get
go
it
on
closer.
and ask that same question and tell them everyone that they know of the same irony. It's all that we need to wake the fuck up.
Pardon me, sorry.
I want to say thank you all for coming. The power of the people is greater than the people in power. That's all, and you people came out, and so did I. Thank you. Woo!
6,500 watts of freedom back here. We, the people, are here to demand that the press does its job and report in its entirety the news on the ground. This republic will not stand if you allow the thumb of oppression to silence you. You are integral to the continuing freedom and democracy of this country.
Power to the people!
Power to the people. Let's hear all of you raise up your voices.
Power to the people! Woo! Woo!
One day, that tyrant will die. And the history is clear. When the cult leader of a fascist regime dies, the regime will die with him. And when that happens, all those agencies and those agents that complied, that bent the knee and kissed the ring will be held accountable. free people do not forget. And we will hold accountable not just the press, but all of
They're
the
watching and
tools of
ignoring.
tyrants.
They're watching and
Those
ignoring.
pieces of the machinations of tyranny that have tried to oppress us, that have murdered us, that have bloodied us, that have tried to steal our voices. They can't, though. We will get louder and louder, and if 7,000 watts isn't enough, we'll make it 20. They silenced Renee Nicole Good, but they didn't silence the things that she stood for and the example that she set. That brings me to tears.
Get out of them.
But yet, each and every one of you that stands out here stands in her example. That she has shown leadership and we follow, and in our own we create a change. And if it means standing in the cold in front of a news agency to demand that they tell the truth, then here we are. And as I said once before, if I have to be wounded in order to have my say, then here I am. Crowfeather, you have words for them?
My ancestors have spoke about this moment, and we're tired of fearing the government, and it's time the government fears the people. Fuck ICE.
Fuck yeah.
You have words to say?
I just want to give a quick quote from Ernesto Che Guevara, an Argentine man who led revolution across Latin America and inspired revolutions around the globe. Those who kill their own children and discriminate daily against those because of their color of their skin, those who let the murderers of black people remain free, protecting them and furthermore punishing the black population because they demand their legitimate rights as free people. How can those who consider themselves guardians of freedom? The government of the United States is not the champion of freedom, but rather the perpetrator of exploitation and oppression against the people of the world and against a larger part of its own population.
These speakers were donated from the people that I work with that were terrified to come out to the ICE facility in the summer when we were being beaten and abused, but at the same time they still felt obligated and compelled to help the community. So they asked, how can we help? And I said, make our voices louder. And so the nurses and doctors that I worked with pitched in. And these belong to all of you. And so if you have words to say, again, the greatest weapon against tyrants is the speech of free people. Come and use your voice. Generate that weapon. Bring down tyranny with your words. The mic is open.
My family came here in 1640. I have a long legacy of what freedom means. Not everybody came because they were fleeing religious persecution. Many people came because they didn't have anything, and this was a possibility. But granted, in coming, we displaced many people. My family came with nothing. It was a small town in England taken and brought to be the workforce for a mill. But they rose. And then my maternal great-grandmother was a suffragette at Seneca Falls to give women the right to vote. Exactly. My grandfather served in World War I and returned with terrible PTSD, died very young because of that. My father was killed at 26, serving his country in the Navy. My mother raised 3 children on her own, despite terrible hypocrisy of this country and the idea of freedom. She, like so many women, were oppressed, but she believed in America. She manned the voting booths, the poll booths, every single year for every vote. She believed in America. I grew up in the shadow of all that. I grew up in San Diego with all these World War II vets. I heard terrible stories of what people endured in the name of freedom. I grew up with the Constitution and the preamble of the Constitution. I don't know if a single ICE agent could repeat the preamble of the Constitution. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish justice, to ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States. And what does it include? The Bill of Rights. And what does the Bill of Rights include? The right to free assembly, the right to free speech, and the right to due process.
It is a singular joy to be able to bring a tool like this out and watch you people use it. Feel free. You know what? If your voice cracks, if you're terrified, that makes it that much more powerful.
Hey everyone, how's it going today? It's amazing the kind of momentum that I've seen pop up over the last few months all across this country. And I want to let people know that America is not alone in this struggle right now. There's other countries that are going through the same authoritarian mess that we are. There's Viktor Orban in Hungary, and there's going to be an election, and I really hope that he gets thrown out and the forces of democracy prevail. Another one that a lot of people in the West and America have not heard a lot about on the media has been what's going on in Serbia, too. Early last year, well, let me back up. November 2024, there was a train station in the city of Novi Sad that collapsed and 16 people were killed, and that uncorked a nationwide outpouring of rage against the corrupt, increasingly authoritarian government. 5% of the Serbian population was in the streets last March. 5%. That's the equivalent of 17 million Americans in the streets all at once. So we're not in this alone. And we have a lot of more momentum to do. No Kings was a good start. We're about halfway to that 17 million goal. But we need to step it up another step further. The fight for democracy, for freedom, for human rights is worldwide. So let me say something. I stand with the people in Hungary who are fighting for freedom and justice. I stand with the people of Serbia who are standing for freedom and justice. I stand with the Philippines. I stand with Nepal, many other regimes, and I stand with my fellow Americans today. We will defeat this fascist regime, and we will, once again, we will look forward to a world where the future is better than the past. Thank you.
Before I open the night, let me say, I got nothing important to say. But my father was a simple man. He was as country as they came. He lived in a house that was more of a shack. He had a dirt floor. His sister, her bedroom was a sheet in the corner that they hung up, so she had a little bit of privacy. This man grew up in a town with not a single person of color, but he had a good heart. And one day I uttered the words, "That's gay." He looked at me and he said, "Do you think there's anything wrong with being gay?" And I said, "Well,
yeah, man and a woman can make a baby, a man can't, a woman can't. And he said, well, son, what about love? And something that we need to keep in mind is that the side that we are on is fighting for love. The opposition has built their regime on hate, and it will not stand. Thank you.
Every day I hear the news and I wonder if I can make a difference. And by coming out here today to this protest, I'm making a difference. And by speaking, I'm making a difference. All of us can make a difference. And all of us can resist ICE and this fascist regime.
It's beautiful to be an home-born Oregonian, born and raised, surrounded by other Oregonians who are getting out there and exercising their First Amendment right, their right to assemble. And if anything, as a born and raised Oregonian, I can emphasize more, is to educate yourself and continue to exercise all of your rights as the body and the party that tells you to remain blind, keep your ears closed to the facts around you, little George Orwell. You know, I spoke a couple weeks ago at Portland City Council regarding the new unmasking legislation that came up, and to my glad surprise, every single written and verbal testimony that was submitted was in support of this legislation. The only party who chose to come up and oppose, the Portland Police Bureau and all other represented police agencies. They said it's impossible to enact that kind of legislation. They said it's impossible to enact that every Portland police officer have a standardized badge. And they said it's impossible to police the very communities in which they, I thought, considered a sworn oath to serve and protect. That looks different compared to your skin color. I think we all need to do some digging in Oregon's integral history. Listen to our Indigenous brothers and sisters who spoke today. Listen to the marginalized communities who have lived here, who like myself are born and raised here. And I can attest to this. My own hometown, up until 2018, coveted a high school mascot that was a Confederate flag or a Confederate soldier. South Albany High School up until 2018. The roots of racism in Oregon specifically run deep, and we need to hold our local elected law enforcement and officials accountable to make sure that they are not policing us, but actually helping to keep our community safe. And since, thank you, I was unable to read my poem at my Portland City Council, yes please. As a ode to Renee Good's legacy as a poet, I bring to you a new national anthem by Ada Limon. The truth is, I've never cared for the national anthem. If you think about it, it's not a good song. Too high for most of us with the rocket's red glare. And then there are the bombs. Always, always, there is war and bombs. Once I sang it at homecoming and threw even the tenacious high school band off key. But the song didn't mean anything, just a call to the field, something to get through before the pummeling of youth. And what are the stanzas we never sing? The third that mentions no refuge could save the hireling and the slave? Perhaps the truth is that every song of this country has an unsung third stanza. Something brutal snaking underneath us as we blindly sing the high notes with a beer sloshing in the stands, hoping our team wins. Don't get me wrong, I do like the flag. How it undulates in the wind like water, elemental, and best when it's humbled, brought to its knees, clung to by someone who has lost everything, when it's not a weapon, when it flickers, when it folds up so perfectly you can keep it until it's needed, until you can love it again. Until the song in your mouth feels like sustenance, a song where the notes are sung by even the ageless woods, the shortgrass plains, the Red River Gorge, the fistful of land left unpoisoned. That song, that's our birthright. That's sung in silence when it's too hard to go on. That sounds like someone's rough fingers weaving into another's. That sounds like a match being lit in an endless cave. The song that says, my bones are your bones, and your bones are my bones, and isn't that enough?
myself, my name is Jessica Salas, and I'm running for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Thanks. Thanks. You guys are so nice. And I just want to say, look around you. This is what hope looks like. It's not the quiet kind. It's the kind that shows up anyway. The kind that walks out. The kind that refuses business as usual. We're 1 year into Trump's 2nd term, and we have to stop pretending what we're facing. ICE in our neighborhoods, troops in our cities, families ripped apart, trans people under attack, billionaires becoming richer, fear used to keep people quiet. This is fascism. It's not a warning. It's happening now. And let me say this with my chest. Fuck Donald Trump and the system he's building. Not because we're scared, but because we see it. And because we refuse to go along with the cruelty and silence. The only way through fascism is refusal. Refusal to go along with it. To act like this is normal and to accept that this is okay. And that's what organized refusal looks like. Not chaos, not destruction. People standing together and saying no. We stop working, we stop cooperating, and we stop giving our consent. Because they want us tired, they want us divided, and they want us to feel alone. But look around you. We are not waiting for permission. We are not waiting for someone to save us. And we're not backing down when fascism comes face to face with the people it tries to erase. The truth that they don't want to hear is that we're organized, we are together, and we are not afraid anymore. This is the resistance. Not someday, right now. We choose each other, we choose courage, we choose a future that belongs to all of us. Everybody in, nobody out. Power starts with us, and we are just getting started. Fuck ICE, fuck Donald Trump, free Palestine.
I don't have anything prepared, so I'll just start with this. We're here in front of this building, and all the news stations locally, but particularly this one, I would just ask you to be more accountable, because you parrot police talking points from the fascist PPV on a regular basis through all the movements, whether it's been Black Lives Matter or whether it's been this movement against fascism. It's dangerous to people on the ground. It keeps people thinking in that mentality, and really it's going for the ruling class, the one our friend spoke about earlier. My partner's almost had her elbow broken by those goons down there. All my friends that are like family to me, they're indigenous, they're down there riding hard to stop all this kidnapping, the killing of people in these facilities, and all this disgusting stuff. And y'all often speak to the opposite of that. So I would just say be more accountable and be more of a voice to the people instead of to the ruling class and these fascists. Fuck ICE, free Palestine, free Turtle Island, free Ireland, free everybody.
My name is Jasmine Hamilton. I organized a walkout about a month ago at my school. I'm 15 years old, and I wrote this poem called Concentration Nation about, I have no idea, a really long time ago, before I really knew who Trump was deep down. Okay. You take them from their homes, strip them of humanity, their clothes, their care, the vulnerability. You say they're a threat, something to be feared. You would do it to U.S. citizens, even those who cheered you on. You'd do it to immigrants. What's stopping you from moving further along? Why take innocent men, innocent women, innocent children from the hands and arms of loving, caring homes to the pit of hell that you call a processing center, a detention center? Bring truth to the words. Call it what it is. It's a concentration camp. A distilled feeling deeply rooted in my chest. You're taking their life, their personal belongings, their food, their water, their healthcare, their will to live. Does that sound familiar yet? Cult-like behavior, worship like a god, while you beat down innocent people, killing them, treating them like dogs. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of corrupt ideas of Americans, and for the MAGA for which it will burn, one nation, under Trump, divisible, with liberty and justice for white men.
Hi, my name is Giancarlo. I'm a son of 2 immigrants, and for the past few months, I've had to watch them be scared of stepping out of our own home. And I want to thank all of you for being out here and supporting all these different ideas. And the only thing I want to say is, fuck ICE!
Hi, I'm not from Portland, I'm from Albany, and my best friend came out to support today because Albany isn't doing anything. And this is an amalgamation of several poems, which I think are very fitting. It's about white privilege, so if you're uncomfortable with that, fuck you. It is my steady breath in the presence of a cop. It is the power I have in the color of my skin. It is the opportunities I steal with the flash of my face. It is the smile I get from every white man who walks by. It's the nonchalant manner of white workers. It is the knowledge that I will get help if I do not feel safe. Sometimes I'm ashamed of being white. Knowing what my ancestors have done to almost every minority in this country makes my skin crawl. Privilege is being able to say all lives matter while living out your day, while being without fear, while breathing without care, as others struggle for air. I am sorry, dear Black people. Privilege is being able to wake up without constant dread in the back of your head. Privilege is being able to write this without ever knowing how dangerous it is, just to breathe, just to be. I am sorry, dear Asian Americans, dear Native Americans, dear immigrants who came here seeking a better life. Passive discomfort isn't an excuse for silence. Potential confrontation isn't an excuse for injustice. Privilege is being able to choose to do nothing. I am sorry I have started my life on the top of the ladder while you were born on the first rung. Once I heard someone say, if you know better, do better, which is why I refuse to take the back seat when calling out racism, knowing that I have the privilege to sit anywhere on the fucking bus. It is knowing that if an officer ever pulled me over, he's not going to feel threatened to put his hand on his gun. It is knowing that if my car ever runs out of gas in the middle of the night on a highway, most people would stop their vehicles and ask if I was all right. It is knowing that my skin is more bulletproof than a bullseye, which is why I view each day as a new opportunity to use this mouth loud, even in uncomfortable spaces. But yet you tell yourself those 3 words, all lives matter, because you don't care, because you don't have to fear. They serve as a blanket, a shielding you from grim reality that dares to alter your ideas. To keep my ears tuned, to do good, be better, for my eyes to not be whitewashed or colorblind. Yet there is still so much learning I have to do. But if there is one thing I do know is that privilege is never having to think about it or talk about it. And my goodness, if I get paid to speak for a living, how could I ever be silent about that?
I don't know how to follow that. I didn't have a big speech this time. I just wanted to say that this is the opportunity for everybody to stand behind the news media and say that we have their back. We're not going to allow state-run media. We're out here and we chose to be here at this location to stand up for truth, to stand for unbiased media that tells facts, for journalism that has integrity, that it doesn't matter how many propagandists replace our journalists. The journalists that actually care about truth aren't going anywhere. And I hope that other stations and other states take notice and other communities stand up behind their journalists and say, you can tell the truth. And it doesn't matter how many lawsuits, it doesn't matter how many FCC fines, it doesn't matter how he runs his mouth. We stand behind journalists with integrity. We are here because we are no longer asking for permission for the truth to be told. We are telling the truth, and no one is going to silence truth again.
You support us, and if they come after you, we will be in front of that jail 10 times this number, 20 times this loud. We will fight for the people that fight for us. We have to be able to do this together. We need each other. The public needs the media, and we need media that tells the truth. The last few honest judges and the last few honest journalists that have the spine to stand up to tyrants are all that comes between us and the end of the democracy that we live in. We stand on the razor's edge, and we cannot fail. We cannot waver. We need you, so hear us. And there's more of us that need to be heard. Wishes to speak.
Just one quick one. If you haven't heard, the May 1st walkout, if you don't know the facts, here it is. In a study of the democracies that were threatened in the 20th century, 7.1% survived without help. 51.5% survived with the people standing up. 83% survived with labor involved. So please start talking to your communities and plan for May 1st and get everyone possible to walk out of their jobs, out of their schools, out of their comfort zone, get in the streets and protest this government.
My name is Stacy. I'm transgender, and I'm not a threat to anybody. Let me remind the community at large, because I think most of this crowd already knows it, but let it live stream, let it go out, be content. That the first people that showed up at ICE in May and June, the ones that went into July and August and September, the ones that stood on the blue line, the ones that bled, the ones that had their bones broken, the ones that were arrested over and over and over again, were not giant gym bros. They were LGBTQ, they were women, they were the women, indigenous women, our most endangered humans in this country. The most marginalized communities in my country, the people that were trying to be pushed into the corner, the ones that the majority didn't want to hear from, that we wanted to forget about. Those were the first people to show up and fight for other people. And the things that I saw them do, the abuses that I saw them tolerate, that they stood 10 toes down and refused to yield, those are my leaders. Those are the heroes in my story that I look up to. And I want to thank every one of them, and that's why I'm here.
I am not from here, so I am fucking freezing. No, but what Vinny said, Sierra Mercado? No, what Vinny was saying about truth, we need not just allies, but accomplices. And by accomplices, I mean standing with us at ICE. And I don't mean in the inflatable costumes either. I get it, you need optics. But can you imagine being ripped from your family, not knowing where you're going, and the last thing you see is a party outside of ICE? And your last thought is, there is no one on my side. Because they don't have access to the news like we do out here. They're locked up. They just got everything torn from them. We need accomplices. We need boots on the ground. We need to let them know that they cannot clock in and clock out and go home, have their TV dinner and enjoy it. Need to make their lives absolute hell. Make their jobs absolute hell. Non-fucking stop. Make sure that the people inside can hear you. I have protested in Tacoma at the Northwest Detention Center, and there was not a soul outside. Not a soul. I could hear people screaming. Their screams on the wind. And there was not a single protester out there fighting for them. This is what they heard, complete silence. You hear that? Nothing. We need to be louder and we need to go harder. No excuses. I get it, some people can do what they can. But sometimes we gotta step out of our comfort zone for those that don't have any comfort, that had their comfort ripped from them. We need accomplices.
My shit sign? It's the Turd Reich. My name's Debbie. This is my first march in Portland. I have been in LA for the last 45 years, though I was born in Oregon. So, we're all the choir, right? We're the choir. And all of the things that everybody has said, we're here, we're making signs, we're making a meal for somebody, you're standing in solidarity with somebody that you know who is scared. I challenge all of you, as I'm trying to do with some people in my life now, to go to somebody who's not the choir, to go to somebody who voted for Trump. Don't tell them to fuck off. Tell them, ask them to see what is happening now. Because that tent has to be big. We have to invite other people into the tent with us, no matter how hard you might have to bite your tongue. It doesn't mean to believe. It's not about proving someone wrong. It's about standing up for the things that are right now. And my best friend and one of my brothers have disappointed me in this regard. And I am having conversations with them both, and I don't have answers about what they will or won't do next. And it isn't even about that, but it's about being vocal. It's about asking other people to open their eyes, to see what is happening, and maybe they'll come out and march next time.
Everybody, it's great to see so many people out. I know our crowd has thinned a little bit, but that's all right. It is really cold. I think events like these are really important, but if this is the only thing that you're doing, I gotta tell you, it's not gonna be enough. We have to do things outside of spaces like these. These kinds of spaces are great for getting to know people, rallying, finding organizations, finding connections, seeing all of your community come out so that you know that you're not alone in this. But this is where the action starts, not where it stops. This isn't the action itself. This is the entry into what should be sustainable, ongoing, long-term action. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? It's an old cliche, but it's true. I come with some homework. Who's heard of Martin Luther King Jr.? Yeah, who's heard the I Have a Dream speech? Yeah? Now who's read a letter from a Birmingham jail? Yeah, a couple people, a little bit less though, right? That's some homework. Go home, read a letter from a Birmingham jail, and see what Martin Luther King Jr. had to say about the white moderate. It's super important. When we're having conversations about the right way to protest, we're already playing the fascist game. And while we're on it, thank you. And while we're on it, I've heard a lot of discussion about oh, America's fascist now. America is the blueprint for fascism. And if that's not something, if that sounds like a surprise, if that comes as a surprise, then there's a lot of history that you're gonna need to look into. I'm a young white woman, right? So there's a little bit of a learning curve. There's some catching up that I had to do. But it's on us who have been relatively comfortable in some way or another, to do the work. And a lot of times we stop here and we think that this is the work. But the work is talking to your neighbors. Do you know your neighbors' names? Awesome. I don't. That's some of my homework. A lot of people have heard of Martin Luther King Jr., but have you heard of Fred Hampton? Audre Lorde? Angela Davis? Yeah. If you haven't, Google them. There are lots of other indigenous activists. There's a great book, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, that is an indigenous history of activism, but also don't take it from me. There are lots of sites that are dedicated to giving you an entry. They've got whole book lists and reading lists. I know this part doesn't sound necessarily like action, but information is power, and education is power. And decolonizing our own minds is the first step. You may have heard the revolution will not be televised. And some people take that to be a commentary on what the news will or will not cover. And that's part of it. But the other part of the revolution will not be televised is to say that the revolution begins in the heart and the mind. It begins in communities. It starts from the ground up. It doesn't come from the top down. It's not going to be organized at a national scale. Nobody's going to send you a pamphlet that says, here's the revolution, time, place, here's what you're going to need to do. And also, just to clarify, what I mean by revolution is I mean a big fundamental change. Because this isn't working for anybody. These systems of white supremacy aren't working for anybody. Even the people that they claim to serve are harmed by these systems at the end of the day. Another great person you should listen to, Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks is a great segment. She's got a book, Men, Masculinity, and Love, or a chapter in one of her other books called Men, Comrades, and Struggle, that talks about the way that the patriarchy actually negatively impacts men, which is not something that a lot of feminists want to talk about, myself included, which is why I'm glad Bell Hooks did it. My point is, if any of these names comes as a surprise to you, or even if they don't, take that as a starting point for additional education. Because this history has been hidden from us. We were taught propaganda on purpose. And until we do the work to unlearn all of that, and to unlearn the ways that we are inadvertently or consciously perpetrating these same systems, we're not going to be able to build something different. Audre Lorde said, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. So what tools are we going to use? That's what I'll leave you with.
I guess we're wrapping up today. Remember, collective action is the best way to go, so continue to make connections and do very tangible, practical outcomes. And again, just thank you all for being here for our community, and we're making Portland a multicultural, true sanctuary, and I'm excited to see it.
Before we wrap up,
I feel the need to use my voice. My name is Solvin DeKrozik. I am a college-educated person, and I last year was working with AmeriCorps in a program called Rural Resource Assistance for Rural Environments, aka RARE, and its program funding was cut by DOGE, illegally and unlawfully. I am a born and raised Oregonian. I grew up in Woodburn, Oregon, and I developed a lot of hatred towards rural Oregon because of the way that I watched outside rural communities be racist and bigoted and hateful towards my fellow peers. I intended to go into RARE because I wanted to change my mindset about my state, because I know that hate cannot truly persist in the heart of everyone in a rural community. And while I stand here in Portland, in a metropolis-ish, I think back on the lessons that I learned while I was in RARE. I was in Bandon, Oregon, a small retirement community south of Coos Bay, and I was honestly scared to go there because of the fear that I had about the hatred in those people's hearts. However, when I got down into these rural environments and these rural communities, I realized that we're not so much different. Although there might be less funding in their education and their mindsets might not be exactly the same as mine, we are all still trying to fight for our livelihoods and our health and our safety. And that extends to all of us here. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just want to say it's really fucked up that I fucking lost my job while I was trying to help the literal impoverished communities in our nation. And fuck ICE. Oh, and they're literally going door to door in Woodburn. It's not like this shit is new. It's not just starting in Minneapolis. I know people who have had to fucking hide in stairways for 48 hours with their goddamn toddlers. So, all of us should know that this shit is in Oregon. It is in Woodburn. It's in all of our fucking houses. So yeah, please understand that this is not just happening in Minneapolis. It's not just happening in Chicago. I know it's happening in Portland, but it's also happening nationwide.
This is only part of the resistance. There's a big part that you all aren't seeing, for the mostly aren't seeing, that's being done every day, Sunday to Sunday. And it starts sometimes before 6 in the morning when Migra Watch, Rapid Response, Rat Patrols out following, tracking ICE all day long. Legal observers watching them, recording what they're doing, and making those guys look over their back all day long. It slows them down. It lets families know what happened to their loved one, because sometimes it'll be 2 days. No one's heard from dad until he calls from Mexico or from the detention center. It also helps them connect with networks that support the families that are left behind. These people are doing their jobs that aren't a job. They're doing it on their own dime, with very little support. And they're doing the most dangerous work, things that'll get you literally killed and shot in the face for watching an ICE officer do his job, for watching a tyrant abduct and abuse the people in my country illegally, kicking in doors without warrants. There's a simple definition of fascism. There's an in-group to which the law protects but does not bind. If you think of those men on January 6th that battered police officers and trashed our Capitol and now walk not just free, but are getting paid with our tax dollars, those are the people that are in the in-group, who the law protects but does not bind. And then there's the rest of us, who are bound by the law, who are subject to its penalties, but are not protected by the law, who will vanish in the dark if we aren't watching each other. So just think of that, and those people that are out there doing that work as we speak, quietly and without fanfare or celebration, and that I hope that you in the media that one day get to tell the full story of the work that they're doing, because those are heroes. I get to peek in at the work that they do. And it takes my breath away to know that we have those heroes in our community, that you stand next to some of them now, and I won't point them out, but some of them are here. And some of them you heard from today. And those are the best goddamn people in the world.
Hey, how's it going? You don't have to vote for me or anything, but if you do really want to get involved, come to me. I have my signal on my business card. If you really want to chase ICE, it's scary, but honestly, it's worth it. And you can also look up license plates on stopice.net if you're curious. But yeah, if you do want to get involved, let me know. I can give you my business card. You can sign up on Signal, and then I can get you connected to some groups if you desperately want to do it. If you literally want to do this, a very serious thing, please come and see me. Thank you.
If you do want to be more involved, if your risk tolerance is high, if you're like, fucking fuck those guys, take the Negro Watch training to start with, and you can progress from there. You'll have to look it up because I don't have any dates right on me, but usually you can find them online. Some of it is in person, and some of it is virtual training, and keep you as much out of trouble as possible. It is a higher risk endeavor, but again, either we take the risk and put ourselves in dangerous places now, or we hide, and we're all at risk later. That's right. I was going to ask for more speakers. Come up, sir, tell your truth.
Sorry, I just wanted some quick words. It's been said by some people before speaking, but just, I was at the gym yesterday with one of my buddies, and I was trying to bring him out here, and he said, oh, I think there's enough people protesting. And I just want to put a message out there to anybody who thinks that. No, the fuck there isn't. We need everybody out here. All hands on deck, get your ass out here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think we're getting close to wrapping up. If there's anybody else that you're like, oh, I'm afraid to speak, you know what, that's okay. I'll tell you, I volunteered at the mass vaccine clinic, and I used to have people that were like, I'm terrified of getting my shot. And they would get up there, but they would get it anyways. And sometimes they'd pass out, sometimes we'd catch them. And I'm like, you know what? You're genuinely, legitimately fearful of this thing, and yet you stepped up and did it anyways because you're trying to protect your community, because your grandma's at home, this has got cancer treatment or whatnot, and you're trying to protect the people around you, and you put yourself in the place that you're most fearful of, and you did it anyways. No one's going to judge you if your voice cracks. No one's going to judge you if you want to have something to say, my man.
Thank you, and I really want to thank you for what you said earlier today and yesterday. I heard you both times, and I very much appreciate that. And the one thing I want to say is I'm a veteran. I'm close to being 80 years old, and I do this every week. And I want you to know that it takes all of us. There is nobody left out. You can join the party anytime. What we didn't know before, and we know now, yay team, because this is 250 years. And my biggest concern is that most people in this country don't know our history, don't know how our country works, doesn't know how our government works. And why I love this one, this is the most young people I've seen in an event in a long time. Most people have my color hair. So Thank you. Please reach out to people who are not in your age group or any other group that you're part of. It's part of all of us, and I'm just really happy to be part of this community, and thank you all.
Real quick.
Thank you, Mama.
I went up to her and I grabbed her card.
I'm about ready to head out myself here soon, so I just wanted to say to everybody, I'm proud of each and every person that's out here today. I'm proud of all of us who have spent down at ICE. The fact that we have to change costumes because of MAGA coming and harassing us and doxing us and being violent with us, but yet we still persist. We still disguise ourselves. And then other days we come out looking just like we are, with our faces proud, and say, aha, I'm still here. What we need to remember is it's not just ICE we're fighting. It's not just Trump and the MAGA party. It's this whole world that has convinced itself that somehow one human being group is better than another human being group. And it has been like this since the dawn of time. And we are better than that. We are evolved, we are smart, we are intelligent, we have empathy. We have the ability to call out people on their preconceived notions that have been instilled through generation after generation after generation. And I will tell you, it is not easy. Sometimes you want to defend yourself. I am guilty. I get called out on crap still. Because deep down, we are all judgmental of each other. And when we've had times that we have been taught things through our families, through news, through media, through television, whatever the case may be, there is not a single person on this planet who is not guilty of judging another group of people for something that there is no substantial evidence to back it up. And we need to be real with ourselves. We need to be truthful. And we need to fucking admit that it has to change and do the hard work ourselves. And I'm saying that as every single human being. We cannot separate ourselves any longer because we've been conditioned to stay separate. And staying separate and staying divided is how those that are in power, that have been murdering and torturing and dividing and controlling and getting richer and more powerful and victimizing more people and getting away with it, and the list goes on and on and on. It's how they've done it throughout history. And we're gonna be the generations that fucking stop it. I have done not nearly enough in my almost 45 years. But the one thing I can say that I am proud is that I am raising my children to do what I did not. And I am standing with them and doing what I can today. And I'm not gonna stop. And I don't want anybody else here to stop. We will not stop. When I say that, and when we said it at the park, and we're all here, and everybody's pointing out that this is just the entry point, that is true. Get out there. Standing with a sign is great. Chanting is great. Walking is great. But it is not rescuing a damn person that's being taken. It's not stopping another person from being beat down by somebody in a badge. It's not stopping someone from being shot. It's not stopping a child from being raped. It's not stopping a rich person from taking from a poor person because he wants another goddamn yacht. We are the people that are going to change humanity, and it takes every single one of us. I don't care if you're late for work. If you see something, pull over and do something. There are no more excuses. If you see something, take your phone out and record it, but don't just stop at that. Do something. The recording is just part of it, so it's documented. But if all you're doing is holding your damn phone up, you're still not doing anything. Stand for your fellow human beings. Learn from those before us that didn't do enough. before us who did do enough. There are plenty of moments in history we can learn some behind the movements that have been made, that have made progress. But you know, for all the work that it has taken history to make the changes and progress that we've made, it's taking a snippet of a moment in time to erase it. And the more we sit here on our ass and don't want to do the uncomfortable things or take risks to our own bodies and take a risk that, yeah, you might end up in jail. But those risks are the only thing that's going to stop them from erasing everything and everyone that they're aiming to erase. We have to stand up. This is the time that you need to understand. If you have true love in your heart for your fellow man, it's time to get dirty.
Hi, it's me again. I just want to say that up where I live, there's protests every Saturday. We don't nearly have enough people. It's literally, I went there last Saturday and there was probably like 10 to 15 people. It's on the Skyline. It's right next to a Starbucks and a pod pantry. Not a lot of people know where it is, but I just want to spread the awareness. Every single Saturday, nonstop, I always hear honking. It's from 1 to 2:30 p.m. There's always a protest there on Saturdays. If you have nothing to do, if you want to voice your concern for your community, please show up. We need the people. It's just a bunch of little old ladies and little men, and I'm actually the youngest person ever there, so we really need more people. Skyline, right next to Starbucks and the pod pantry. You'll see signs. Thank you.
I think we're almost done with our speakers. Let me thank you guys for being, this is a speech I give out there, the somebody speech, that we all wait for somebody to do something. You know, when it says like, somebody should do something. Somebody should stop this atrocity. Somebody should stop that man. Somebody should stop this thing that's going on. And we wait for somebody. But now you are somebody. You have stood up for something. When I was a child, I grew up in a very abusive household. I remember wondering why somebody wasn't speaking for me, when somebody might rescue me. I'm hoping that somebody wouldn't find my body one day. I was a reader at an early age, and luckily came across the stories of heroes, the people that became somebody, and tried to emulate that. And thought, when I'm big, thinking that as I stood up on a box in front of the mirror, when I'm this big, I will stand up for other people that don't have a voice. I'll stand up for the other people that are afraid of monsters. And so if I'm in a dangerous place at times, I'm compelled by that boy's voice that made those promises that I'm trying to keep. But you all are standing up and are somebody. You're going to be somebody's hero. Somebody will say, I thought I was alone and I saw you standing there and speaking when they tried to take my voice. As we end this march and rally today, this is the start of something. But I'm proud to stand next to all of you who are somebody today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. You too. Thank you. Sorry about that. I double tapped the back out button instead of back up button. I'm going to go ahead and step over on the sidewalk.
Awesome. Now they're going inside. Huh. How funny, huh?
So I'm gonna show this card one more time. And then I'm gonna kind of pack up some things here. Absolutely. It's the 20th. I don't think there's anything scheduled until Friday, correct? Except maybe a night down at the facility, but that's going to be on a on-need basis until the weekend. Again, I always end up driving in that area for the most part. I keep it open. If people have gathered for any reason, and if there's anything crazy that's happened in the news, people always seem to get out on the streets. So, right on. Everyone have a great day.